Hello and welcome to lesson number 4, A Truly Beautiful Mind. Now, this lesson is about Albert Einstein. He was a great scientist. The title of the chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, refers to Albert Einstein. This is a short biography of his where some of his qualities have been highlighted. Albert's interest in mathematics and physics, and also his humanitarian attribute. The title, A Truly Beautiful Mind, makes one wonder that how can a scientist's mind be beautiful? It is so because in this lesson we come across another aspect of Einstein. He was a humanitarian. He advocated world peace, non-violence, and that is why the title refers to him as a truly beautiful mind. Now, let us go through the lesson. Before we read, who do you think of when you hear the word genius? Who is a genius? And what qualities do you think a genius has? We shall now read about a young German civil servant who took the world by storm about 100 years ago in the summer of 1905. The 26-year-old published in quick succession four groundbreaking papers about light, the motion of particles, the electrodynamics of moving bodies, and energy. His work took up only a few pages in scientific journals, but changed forever our understanding of space, time, and the entire cosmos, and transformed the name Einstein into a synonym for genius. 50 years after his death, Albert Einstein's genius still reigns. So, children, now let us go to the lesson. Albert Einstein was born on the 14th of March 1879 in the German city of Ulm, without any indication that he was destined for greatness. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. To her, his head seemed too large. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him Brother Boring. So here, as we can see, the beginning, Albert Einstein was born in Germany, and no one knew that he was going to be a truly great man. In fact, it was quite the opposite. His mother thought him to be a freak. Destined, the meaning of destined is like, a predetermined set of events that happen in future, but nobody knew that he was going to become great. And the meaning of the word freak is a word which is used to talk very disapprovingly about somebody who is very unusual and somebody who doesn't behave or look or think like others. He uttered means he spoke everything twice. And first of all, he was a very late talker. Children normally learn to talk by the age of, say, 1 year old. When they are, say, 10 to 11 months, they begin, like, saying something or the other. But Einstein couldn't speak until he was 2.5 years old. And even then, he would repeat everything twice. He didn't know how to play with other children. And so they all called him Boring, Brother Boring. So the youngsters played by, so the Einstein played by himself. Now, Otto Neugebauer, the historian of ancient mathematics, told a story about Einstein that he characterized as a legend, but it is fairly authentic, means it is true. He was a late talker. His parents were very worried. And at last, at the supper table one night, while they were having dinner, he broke his silence to say, "The soup is too hot." And his parents were very relieved that he had finally spoken. And they asked him, "How come you never said a word before?" And Albert replied, saying, "Because everything up to now was in order, so that I didn't need to speak." So he had given a good reason for not talking much of the time. He loved mechanical toys, and looking at his newborn sister Maha, he said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" Now, what did he mean by that? He loved playing with toys, and most of the toys were cars, and they all had wheels. So he thought his newborn sister was another toy, and that's why he said, okay, that's fine. She's a new, that's fine. But where are her wheels? He didn't know that she was a little child just like him. So, the headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he said that he would never make a success of anything. That means he thought like he was no good at anything. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. In fact, he went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old. That means 1 year and 3 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled that he left school for good. The previous year, the previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. So, here as we can see, once a headmaster told Albert's father that it didn't matter what kind of a job he would take up because he would never be a success in his life. But contrary to that headmaster's opinion, he did learn to play the violin at the tender age of 6 because his mother wanted him to learn the violin and he became a really gifted amateur. That means he was not a professional, he played it just because he enjoyed it, but he continued playing the violin throughout his life. That shows how much he enjoyed playing it. And then he was not even a bad pupil. I don't know why that headmaster said that. He, went to a high school in Munich, but his parents had moved, and when he was 1 year and 3 months old, he got good marks in every subject. But what he hated about that school was the strict regimentation. Now, the meaning of regimentation is the order and discipline which is taken to an extreme, so much so that he felt like stifled there, and he often clashed. That means with his teachers, he had an argument with his teachers. At the age of 15, he was so stifled that he left that school forever. Now, let us continue reading. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left him with their relatives. After a long discussion, he got his wish to continue his education in German speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So, after having a long talk with his parents, he said that he wanted to go to another place. His parents had moved to Milan and left him with his relatives. So he went to that part of Switzerland where people spoke in German and to a city which was much more liberal, is willing to understand and respect others' opinion. They were not narrow minded but very broad minded. Then Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics. And after finishing school, he decided to study at a university in Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the walrus mustache. Now, over here, we can see this mustache, Einstein's thick mustache, so that's called a walrus mustache. And not only was he gifted in maths, but also very much interested in physics. So after finishing school, he decided he would go to a university in Zurich and study there. And not only science, but many other things interested him. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Maric, whom he found to be a very clever creature. And this young Serb, that means she had come from a country called Serbia. And this young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. In those days, very few women went to school or university. And so, they were not allowed to go to school or college or university. But this university in Zurich was one of the few which allowed women to get their degrees. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. The couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. wrote Einstein. How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant and gave private lessons and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. Now, here, when he went to the University of Zurich, there he met a lady, a woman who came from Serbia in order to study, and he found her very clever. And so he was attracted to her and he fell in love with her. He had a special interest in her. He saw in her an ally. Now, an ally means a friend or an associate. And Philistines are it's a word that is used to disapprovingly to talk about people who do not like art, literature, music, and which Albert liked very much. So, all the people in his family and at the university with whom he could not agree, he considered them Philistines. But in Mileva Maric, he found a friend, and so he was very happy, and so they fell in love and they exchanged letters, and what they wrote in their letters was love notes mixing science with tenderness. Einstein wrote that he would be very happy and proud when both of them brought their work on relativity to a victorious conclusion. But in 1900, although he was a university graduate, he was unemployed. Then, the meaning of the word patent means a document which gives the right of an invention to an inventor. And then, so even though he had completed graduation, he was unemployed. So, what did he do to earn a living? He worked as a teaching assistant, he gave private lessons, and then finally got a job as a technical expert in the patent office where he was supposed to be assessing, looking at people's inventions. But in reality, he was developing his own ideas in secret without anyone coming to know. He is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. So, in a very light manner, he said that this is my Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Then, let us continue reading. One of the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey if one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. E equals mc square. So, the meaning of the word absolute is something that is measured in itself, not in relation to anything else. Now, this famous formula, in this mathematical equation, E stands for energy, M for mass, and C for the speed of light in a vacuum about 3 lakh kilometers per second. So, now, according to Einstein, uh, what was relativity? He said, if you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. Time passes so quickly. And when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That is relative. That means it is not absolute. No, the feeling changes. It all depends on whom you are with. So, let us continue reading further. So, while Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him, and she was also bothered by her intelligence. She was very intelligent, and she told her son, "She is a book like you," his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. The pair finally married in January 1903 and they had two sons. But a few years later, the marriage faltered. Mileva, meanwhile, was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1919. He married his cousin Elsa the same year. Now, the meaning of the word unraveling is starting to fail. And the meaning of the word faltered is to become very weak. So, here, while Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was not it was unraveling. Things were just falling apart. Albert wanted to marry Mileva just then, but his mother was against that marriage, and the reason was that she found Mileva to be not only 3 years older to her son, but she also was bothered that this woman is so intelligent. She told her son that this woman is a book just like you, and so he put the wedding off. But finally they got married and they had 2 sons. But after a few years, that marriage became very weak. Their ties became very weak, and she began losing her intellectually. Her ambition had become very very less, and she was becoming a very unhappy housewife. So after many years of constantly bickering and quarreling and fighting, they finally divorced in 1919. That means they lived together for 16 years. And when they got divorced, Einstein finally married his cousin sister Elsa. Then, Einstein's new personal chapter coincided with his rise to world fame. In 1915, he had published his general theory of relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. An eclipse of the sun in 1919 brought proof that it was accurate. Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspapers proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. Now, the meaning of the word deflected is to be changed, to change direction when it hits something. So that is deflection. Then, so while after Einstein got divorced, that very same year he got married to his cousin sister Elsa, and that was the time when he became world famous. In 1915, a few years earlier, he had published his general theory of relativity that gave a new interpretation of gravity. But then, an eclipse of the sun brought proof that what he had said in his general theory of relativity was the truth. It was accurate. He had calculated the extent of which the light could be deflected, and his work was a scientific revolution. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and was lauded by the press. That means he was praised by the press. He received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921, and people he was showered, he was praised and honored, and invited. There were invitations from all over the world, and people praised him in the press. When the Nazis came to power in Germany in 1933, Einstein emigrated to the United States. So, when Germany was occupied by when the Nazi government, that means under Adolf Hitler, came to power, he left Germany and went to the United States. 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission in Berlin had American physicists in an uproar. That means they were very, very upset. Many of them had run away from fascism, just as Einstein had, and now they were afraid that the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. So, emigrated is to go from one country to another country. Here, Einstein went from Germany to the United States. Then, let us continue. At the urging of a colleague, Einstein wrote a letter to the American President Franklin D. Roosevelt uh, on 2nd of August 1939, in which he warned a single bomb of this type exploded in a port might well destroy the whole port together with some of its surrounding territory. The words did not fail to have an effect. The Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction This time he wrote a public missive to the United Nations. In it, he proposed the formation of a world government. Unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made no impact. But over the next decade, Einstein got more involved in politics, agitating for an end to the arms buildup and using his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. So here, children, we can see that when a colleague told him about this nuclear fission, he wrote a letter to the American president and he warned him. A single bomb of this kind, if it is exploded in a port, might not only destroy the whole port and the surrounding territory, but it did not fail. That means it did have an effect on the president. But the Americans developed an atom bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of the Second World War. I think all of you know about this incident, about the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of that destruction. And this time he wrote a public missive. Now, missive is a letter which is very long and official. In that, he said that the world needs to form a world government. And unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made no impact. But over the next 10 years, Einstein got even more involved in politics. He agitated for an end to the arms buildup. That means he said all nations must stop stocking up on arms and, having more and more building up of arms and weapons. And he used his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. So when Einstein died in 1955, at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary and a world citizen as much as a scientific genius. So here, this was the life of Albert Einstein, a short biography of this wonderful man whose name is synonymous with that of being a scientific genius. He was celebrated, his life was celebrated as that of a visionary and a world citizen because he desired democracy and he desired peace, and there was a very humane side to him. He was not on a pedestal, he was not floating up there in the clouds, but he was a very down to earth person, a very simple person, very musically inclined, a genius at maths and physics, and he gave so many new scientific ideas that were very revolutionary at that time. So we should be grateful that the world has seen such a marvelous person in in the person of Einstein. So let us think about the text. Here are some headings for the paragraphs and the text. Write the numbers of the paragraphs for each title against the heading. And the first one is done for you. So this one you must read and do this yourself, as it will give you a chance to read the lesson. Now we will go to who had these opinions about Einstein, that he was boring. Uh, you remember the beginning of the lesson, children? His other playmates used to think that he was boring, that he was stupid and he would never succeed in life, was said by his headmaster. And that is free. He was a freak. His own mother thought that he was a freak because his head was too large. Other children had smaller heads, but his head was quite large. Now, let's explain the reasons for him leaving school. Munich, because of the strict regimentation. That means the school was extremely strict and he felt very stifled there. That was the reason why he left that school for good. That means he never wanted to go back to that school. He often clashed with his teachers, and so he left it at the age of 15. Now, Einstein wanting to study in Switzerland rather than Munich because his parents had moved to Milan and they left their son with relatives. And after a long discussion, he got his wish to continue his education in the German speaking part of Switzerland. where that city was more liberal than Munich. Munich was very, narrow-minded. There they were more broad-minded and liberal. Einstein, seeing in Mileva an ally, he found a young Serb student from Serbia at the University of Zurich, a very clever uh, woman. She was Maleva Marek, and he felt she was a friend against the Philistines, against people who could not understand arts or music and things like that, not only in his own family but also at the university. And he was always, at odds with such people. Then, what did Einstein call his desk drawer at the patent office, and why? Well, Einstein got his first real job as a technical expert in the patent office at Bern. He was supposed to be assessing other people's inventions, but at that time he was also developing his own ideas in secret, and his drawer was full of them. So he called his desk drawer at the patent office the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. Then the next question, why did Einstein uh, write a letter to Franklin Roosevelt? When the Nazis came to power in Germany, Einstein did not remain in Germany but he immigrated to the United States. But there was a fear that the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. So he wrote a letter warning him about how a single bomb could destroy a whole port and some of the surrounding territory. But the Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. Why? How does Einstein react to the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? The American, in spite of Einstein warning and writing a letter telling about the danger of the atomic bomb, the Americans developed the atom bomb in a secret project of their own and they dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction, so he wrote a public missive to the United Nations. He proposed the formation of a world government to ensure peace and democracy. Then, why does the world remember Einstein as a world citizen? Einstein's theories and works have been useful to all the people of the world. He believed in the peaceful use of science and was shaken by the use of the atomic bomb by USA on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He felt there was a need for world government. He fought against the arms buildup and advocated peace and democracy, so the world remembers him as a visionary and a world citizen. Then, here are some facts from Einstein's life. Arrange them in chronological order, that means from the time of his birth till the time of his death. This also, children, I leave it to you to do it so that you will have to read the lesson a few times to put it in the right order. Okay? So, then thinking about language. Here are some sentences from the story. Choose the word from the brackets which can be substituted for the italicized words. Now, the first one is faltered is failed. Second one, at odds is to be in disagreement. The third one, proclaimed is declared. The next one, number 4, Einstein got ever more involved in politics, agitating for an end to the arms buildup is campaigning. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled that he left the school for good. That means he left it permanently. 5 years later, the discovery of a nuclear fission in Berlin had American physicists in an uproar. Uproar means in a state of commotion. Science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with a walrus mustache. That means walrus mustache is uh, interested. Appeal to is interested. Now, study the following sentences. Einstein became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. Then, letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. Now, all these sentences begin with maintaining begins with an ing verbs. They are called participial phrases. Participial phrases say something more about the person or thing. So he became a gifted amateur violinist. He maintained the skill throughout his life. So complete the sentences, filling in the blanks with suitable participial clauses. The first one. Now, the first one is they worked round the clock. That means working round the clock, the firefighters finally put out the fire. That is number one. Then the second one, noticing, she noticed the colors blending softly into one another. Noticing the colors blending softly into one another. Then the third one, the excited horse pawed the ground rapidly is neighing continually. Neighing continually, the excited horse pawed the ground rapidly. Then the fourth one, I found myself in Bangalore instead of Benares. I had taken the wrong train. Having taken the wrong train, I found myself in Bangalore instead of Benares. Then I was desperate to get to the bathroom. I had not bathed for 2 days. Having not bathed for 2 days, I was desperate to get to the bathroom. Number 6. The stone steps, they were worn down. The stone steps being worn down needed to be replaced. The actor received hundreds of letters from his fans. They asked him to send them his photograph. The actor received hundreds of letters from his fans asking him to send them his photograph. Then let us continue. Writing newspaper reports. Here are some notes which you could use to write a report. 21st August 2005, original handwritten manuscript of Albert Einstein unearthed by student Rowdy Boynik at the University of Netherlands. Voynich, researching papers belonging to an old friend of Einstein, fingerprints of Einstein on these papers, 16-page document dated 1924, Einstein's work on his last theory, behavior of atoms at low temperature, now known as the Bose-Einstein condensation, the manuscript to be kept at Leiden University, where Einstein got the Nobel Prize. Now write a report which has 4 paragraphs, one each on what was unearthed, that means what was found, who found it, when, what the document contained, where it will be kept, and your report could start like this. Student unearths Einstein manuscript, 21st August 2005, an original handwritten Albert Einstein manuscript had been unearthed at a university in the Netherlands. So, children, I please read the lesson a couple of times and make sure you write the question answers. Thank you and have a nice day.